will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. I love you.
Two goofballs with microphones and a shorter attention span than a toddler. This is Censored Freedom with Jerry Hicks and CD Spivey.
Hey everybody, how we doing this week? How you doing, CD?
Pretty good. Rode my motorcycle to the studio. It was nice and warm today.
Oh man, it's been beautiful outside. I know you've been dying to ride that thing again.
Yeah, I put about 300 miles on it today, going up to Kentucky and then turning around and coming back. A big old 300-mile loop. So yeah, I had a good old time.
Wow, well that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. It's been an interesting week for sure. There's been a lot going on. It seems like these weeks are a year in a week.
With Trump in office, that's what seems to be the case. First of all, I don't know if this is a spoof. I don't know if it was like the URL was hijacked or this is real. But the Spanish version of the White House website, probably hacked. But they changed that part of the website to site not found and a single button that says go home.
I don't think that was our official government. Something tells me that's not right.
I still think it was funny. It's hilarious to think that honestly, I think somebody spoofed it. I think that's basically what happened. But not only that, Trump has been busy.
Well, before we get into that, do you remember the beginning of the Biden administration? The White House was going straight to Antifa.
Oh, yeah. Well, Act Blue.
No, it was going straight to Antifa site.
Really? I forget that. I forgot about that.
In the very first days of the administration, the WhiteHouse.gov went straight to Antifa.
Pretty much.
I mean, at least it was being honest, right?
It's like, yeah, we're a bunch of freaking commie terrorists. But Trump has been busy. Mm-hmm. He ordered airstrikes on ISIS in Somalia.
Really?
Yeah, well, I hear Ilhan Omar is pissed. I'm sure she's worried about her family and friends over there.
Then she should probably go back home and join them.
Protect them. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
That's where the hell she belongs.
Because she is not doing this country any favors at all.
She's just a jihadist in our own government, an enemy in the ranks.
I don't understand how she got into position. I really don't. Like, why would people vote for her?
The Somali population in Minnesota.
Is it Minnesota? I couldn't even remember where she was from.
Yeah, Minneapolis, St. Cloud area.
Apparently they got a big Somali population there.
They absolutely do, and it is terrible.
Since Trump's been in office, we know that the left is really, really not happy, and they've been doing a lot of fear porn and fear tactics to try to scare the people against Trump.
Dude. Okay, tell the people. I think it's bullshit, but you can tell the people.
So, if you guys have ever heard of the Doomsday Clock, this is a symbolic clock to show how close we are to...
It's doomer porn.
Exactly what it is. Exactly what it shows how close we are to the end of the world. Midnight being the end of the world, of course, right? So, at the end of Trump's last term, they set it to 90 seconds to midnight, the closest it's ever been set. Well, Trump took a new term, of course. So now they've moved it up to 89 seconds to midnight. The world's in even worse danger now that Trump's in office. They didn't say that directly.
Bruh.
It just happened to be right after he took office that they changed it again, right?
Bruh.
Exactly. Nothing but fear porn is all it is.
Just ridiculous bullshit, dude. It just there's a lot of websites you just shouldn't click on. You know, I got a feeling that the computer now has a virus because you clicked on that damn thing.
Probably. Most likely. I'm going to have to run the scanner after the show.
Your computer has gonorrhea syphilis.
Which is bad if you're on the internet.
It's a new strain.
The COVID of the internet, right?
No, basically your computer needs a penicillin shot right in the freaking hard drive.
Gonna have to AVG that sucker.
It's maybe a prescription of Valtrex.
Oh God.
Herpes is for life, man. But
apparently, with the doomsday clock, life ain't going to be very long, at least.
Yeah. Well, what do we got next here? Falling planes.
Falling planes. So we've had a lot of crashes this week, interestingly enough, across the country, planes falling out of the sky. Well, I say across the country, in the Northeast specifically.
Yeah.
We've had one in D.C., which was really interesting.
Really terrible.
And terrible. And one in Philadelphia, which was equally as sad.
Heartbreaking. Just freaking heartbreaking.
But the D.C. plane crash has got a lot of questions surrounding it.
Yeah.
Number one being it's a military chopper, right, involved with a domestic flight. So this is abnormal if ever was.
Basically, it was a woman pilot flying a Black Hawk. Oh, I'm sorry, a Black Hawk. A Black Hawk.
Yeah, that's what you meant. That's what you meant.
Sorry.
Interestingly enough,
He's a Black Hawk.
Interestingly enough, they have scrubbed her social media.
I'm such an asshole.
You really are. Did you ever fly in a Black Hawk?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, I bet it was loaded.
I flew on a Black Hawk helicopter when I was in training. Yes, I did.
That it was loaded.
Oh, shut up.
Loaded with white at that.
Anyway,
ladies and gentlemen,
off the rails we go. Attention span of 2 toddlers. Here we go.
So they scrubbed. Now, is this normal? They have scrubbed the social media of this female pilot.
Of course. Why not? And her family.
And her family.
Why not? Yeah, why not? Scrub the, what do we really have to hide other than hiding every fucking thing we can?
Exactly. When that doesn't help for transparency.
No, it
all.
doesn't. And it seems to be like nothing has changed from one administration to the next. It's still the same, hiding of everything. Everything is, whether it's supposed to be classified or not, it's still classified. That's what got Trump in trouble. This is classified, this is classified, this is classified, but it's not really secret,
Right.
It's not really supposed to be. But still, here we are labeling things classified. And why did they do it? I mean, there's a lot of that hiding stuff fuels speculation, and some of the speculation is that this girl was trans, and I'm like, no, that's not.
No. That would have been all over the media.
Or LGBTQ 1, 2, 3 bullshit.
AIGVXLMA.
Maybe. I don't know. It fuels the whole DEI speculation. Is that the case? I don't know. I've seen female helicopter pilots do terrific. I'm not saying that that's what the case was, but I am going to go ahead and fly out on a limb right now and say that...
fly out on a limb?
That the helicopter was at fault for this. The airplane was in proper glide path to approach runway 33 at Reagan Airport, and was not deviating from that flight path.
I do find it interesting that it's runway 33, as that number comes up every time there's some kind of weirdness.
Really? Well, I'd like to see that, but...
It's a Freemason number, special number to them.
That airplane was changed from runway 1 to runway 33. It did change because there was, what happened was there's one flight that's about to take off, one flight landing, and there was too much crowding in between those flights for it to work. So that plane was now deviated to runway 33 to avoid a midair on arrival. Because there was already a plane ready to take off, and a plane, that is a very busy airport.
Right, of course.
Very busy. So they've got them packed in. I mean, if you ever seen the movie Pushing 10, I actually watched a little bit last night just to understand what ATC goes through, which is kind of a big embellishment, but still, it's what they go through. You know, that is a stressful freaking job. It really is.
Oh, God, yeah. I couldn't imagine.
You have lives on your shoulders every single day. And honestly, what happened there was normal. Was deviating from one runway to another is a normal thing.
And
you know,
if you've ever listened to the air
traffic, if there's too much crowding, if you've listened to ATC before, you understand this kind of thing happens. I am intrigued with ATC and flight and airplanes and all that good shit. And I've listened to a bunch of it, and I've listened to even more just recently. And I understand why things happen the way they do.
Right.
At an airport, I start to understand what the thought process of an air traffic controller and a pilot,
right,
and how they communicate together. And of course, you know, you go from one runway to another, you come short final, but still he was on glide path to be able to land at runway 33 over the river just fine. But that helicopter was not supposed to be in that glide path.
So
that helicopter was out of route and not where it belonged.
So we were talking about this off air the other day, and you mentioned that it's actually normal for them to deviate off of flight path for different reasons, mainly to save time, right?
If it is an emergency. Now, this was supposedly a training flight, but the thing is, as Pete Hegseth said, and this is the truth, even with convoys in America, you see military trucks running down the road. Convoys are known as training, but everything we do is training if it's not in real world. We label everything training.
Gotcha. So that label doesn't really mean a whole lot in this scenario.
I did a flood rescue mission to Arkansas years back. I actually got an award for it. It's pretty cool. But while doing that for the National Guard, they called it training, and we were actually doing a rescue mission.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's something that's normal.
It's used as a cover up, and
yeah, it's just a very well used nomenclature for anything that we do in America is called training.
So, with this said, and I do find it odd that it was diverted to runway 33, that's interestingly enough. And back to your point on transparency for a moment, this is why you get, quote, conspiracy theorists out here.
Yeah, because if you hide all this shit and you don't make it like, look, this is what happened, this is what's going on, stop the speculation, stop the BS. No, they're fueling it.
Exactly.
They're fueling the idiots.
And they can't figure out why people keep coming up with these theories because it matches the only evidence we're given.
Yeah.
And then talk about we're spreading misinformation and disinformation. Then give us the real information.
Yeah, really.
Right? And go ahead with your point because I thought
stop classifying bullshit. You know, stop classifying things and hiding things to make it to where we can't see the truth.
And I like where you were going with your question there. Who gets to decide what is and is not misinformation?
Yeah. I guess what the criminals at the FBI,
because they've done such a good job so far.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bang up job.
Yeah. I wonder how much underwear they've stolen out of freaking Melania's.
Melania. Yeah. I kept thinking Miranda. I knew that wasn't the right name. Melania. But. So we know the ATC was absolutely understaffed at the time of this. Had one guy controlling the helicopter and airplane routes, which is absolutely abnormal.
And there was a level of panic inside the ATC that I noticed when I listened to the squawk back. Mm-hmm. And what really scared me is what happened after the crash.
Really?
ATC panicked. Every plane that ATC diverted, ATC said, maintain heading, climb to 3,000 feet.
Wait.
Maintain heading, climb to 3,000 feet, and did this 4 times.
They put all the planes at the exact same
elevation.
Oh, wow. That's not good.
One 2,500, one 3,000, one 3,500, one because you're going to separate them because what you're doing is you have to take your eyes off of those aircraft, and to take your eyes off those aircraft, you have to separate them.
Right.
You have to get them away from each other.
Usually based on airspeed at the
Because
time.
every single one of these is now in glide path coming into land, and you now have to say, divert.
So you got to turn the engines back on, basically.
Climb to 3,000 feet, maintain heading. Every one of these planes is coming into land, maintain heading, climb to 3,000 feet, and then not given an airspeed. What the hell?
That's not good.
Because I think 2 or 3 of them were not even given an airspeed.
Oh no!
I'm like, oh shit!
So they're just running blind.
Yeah, and then planes. Basically, what happened then is planes are now contacting LaGuardia, contacting what is that other airport with DC? The other one,
Dulles.
Dulles.
That's the one where I flew in with
Dulles. The one up in Delaware.
I don't know the name of that.
You know, so they're separating them. You know, somebody's wife. Oh, it was Ted Cruz's wife. Was on an airplane approaching and had to divert during the crash, and actually ended up diverting to Delaware.
Gotcha.
Which is right over the border. Which is like 30 minutes away.
I don't know how true it is. I heard today, take this with a grain of salt, that Mayorkas was supposed to be on the helicopter. I don't know that for a fact. Again, I heard it today. I don't know how true it is.
Man.
But they were doing a continuity of government training run.
Oh, that could have been... Mayorkas shouldn't have been continuity of government. He should have been on his way to jail, but...
Agreed.
That's neither here nor there, I guess.
Agreed. Again, take it with a grain of salt. I don't have that confirmed, but that could have been the case. So the question that I have, though, looking at the video, it looks to me, my opinion, and I said this on the show earlier this week.
Which plane crash are we talking about?
DC still.
DC, okay.
It looks to me like that helicopter flew directly into that.
It looked like it, didn't it, from our angle?
It did. It looked almost purposeful.
But it was in an angle to where if you have a line of sight and you are looking at your approach, all right, you are looking at your approach and you have a line of sight. The helicopter was coming from this way, but it looked like it was coming dead on. But if you are maintaining lower speed, flaps down, preparing to land at high thrust, where's your nose?
It's down.
It's up.
Is it up?
It's up. He may have had nose up, you know, to high thrust,
right,
at low speed.
Gotcha.
So if that was the case, the angle of attack would take his sight off of what was underneath him, and he would be falling into that helicopter.
Well, how about her? Would she be able to see that?
She should have seen the damn airplane.
Right.
And they did say they saw the airplane, but there was a line of them coming in. So the plane that the helicopter saw was not the one they should have been looking for.
So could it have been purposeful?
No.
No?
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say this was a massive fuck up.
So there are some more intriguing pieces of information. We know on the plane it was carrying a number of Russian ice skaters, and it was coming out of Kansas, which we know there's a
tuberculosis scare going on. Yeah.
So the question on the table is, could they have taken it out for one of two reasons? Number one, start stuff with Russia. Number two, to get rid of the Berkey problem.
I'm not going there with that. Occam's razor tells me that this is a massive fuck up by a military helicopter that shouldn't have been there.
Well, let's take it to the other side then. Oh, before I get into this, I brought up a point earlier in the week, and I want you to validate this point for me. Do helicopters have black boxes?
Military helicopters do not. And military helicopters do not have collision warning systems, because collision warning systems are radar and GPS. Those are the two types of warning systems. The problem with that is is if our military aircraft have radar and GPS cross sections of a freaking jumbo jet, you can missile them down very easily. So therefore, they don't possess them. Should they in America? Sure. Yes, they should. And they should be removed or readily removed if deployed.
Right.
In a combat situation or in a possible enemy situation or in a police situation.
So do they have some type of recording device on board though?
They do, from what I know.
Okay.
But it isn't anything.
It isn't your standard black box like you would.
Standard black box, no.
Because I got challenged on that. I just wanted to make sure.
Now, we do have something, and I'm sure I'm allowed to say this now because it's been 2 decades since it's come out, and movies have had this. But we do have something called a Blue Force Tracker. They do have those in there, but that is a military exclusive.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Piece of equipment.
Gotcha.
And Blue Force trackers can give coordinates, but Blue Force tracker would not have civilian aircraft on it.
Gotcha.
It's for military use.
So it wouldn't have detected the aircraft still?
No. Basically, we used Blue Force trackers on the ground and in the sky for our protection in Iraq.
Gotcha. So with that being the case, if it's not a black op or done on purpose,
no,
then could it have been hacked?
There's a lot of that going on right now. There is a lot of talk going on right now of spoofing aircraft aeronautics and lying to it and having it say things that's not true.
Right.
And someone with an instrument rating, right, flying instruments at night,
right.
You would fly by instrument. You would not fly by
sight.
VFR. You would fly by IFR,
right,
which is instrument or visual, right? So this person was obviously flying by their instruments. Mm-hmm. They were not flying by visual,
right?
Because visual is limited at night. Not only that, they were over the frickin' water. What can you see? Not a fucking thing.
Not a thing.
You know why? Because the lights of the city are going to screw with your vision bouncing off the freaking water.
Right.
You have to go by your instruments.
Okay, so we can assume safely they were flying by instrument, and if these instruments were hacked,
it could say they were 2,500 feet off the ground when they're supposed to be 800, and that is what they were supposed to be, was around 800.
Got you. So perhaps they would have had the wrong readings, which would have put them off course, thinking they were in empty skies.
That could have been the case.
Now, how likely is this? And you mentioned earlier something in the week about hacking and the amount that it's used. Can we say that on the air or not? No, I don't. Okay, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
I'm not sure I can. I know that we do have drone technology to be able to do things like that, and some of that drone technology was used in a theater of war, but I can't really say where, when, or how.
So we do know that all of these military HUDs and things are made by one company.
Now, hold on. Let me put 2 and 2 together on the show while I'm talking.
Okay.
What the fuck have we had a problem with in the Northeast and in Washington, D.C. and in New Jersey in the past freaking
drones of some type?
Few months.
Right.
Okay. All right. Are you're picking up what I'm putting down.
However, there were no drones spotted in the area. There are no drones that were on the video. There's no drones that have been seen in this cross-section of D.C.
Yes.
During this attack.
As far as we know.
As far as we know. There's nothing on the video. There's nothing to show. There's no reports of them hitting anything as far as drone-wise. Nothing like that. But it could be. I've heard this connected earlier in the week. I can't connect it directly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the scary part is, could that be the case? Maybe.
Now, could a drone have been far enough up, is what you're suggesting, that it was sending a signal down to mess with the helicopter?
Possibly.
That's not out of the purview.
I'm not going to say that's the case. I don't want to speculate and say anything stupid because that's not us. But
Well, as long as we let them know it's
That
speculation.
kind of tech. I'm just going to say that kind of technology exists.
So it's plausible.
Without getting into any trouble with my beloved military.
So it's plausible. That's what we can say.
It's plausible that somebody could have attacked that helicopter with a spoofing.
Okay. We do know that these systems were made by Elbit Systems out of Israel. All of the aircraft systems, the way I understand it, for the military, like HUD and whatnot, are made by this one company, right?
As far as I know, but...
According to the article that I sent you the other day.
Yeah, but I thought some of them were actually made by Lockheed Martin and other
They may be. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen Lockheed Martin shit. I'm not going to say all of them are made by that because I'm not a pilot and I don't exactly know for sure.
Gotcha. Well, at least according to the article that I sent you, is like F-35s and Black Hawks.
I do know a couple of Black Hawk pilots, but they wouldn't tell me that shit.
Well, of course not. I mean, they shouldn't be expected to, of course.
They make fun of me because I'm a Grom on the ground and they're freaking flying up above me.
So, carrying on now, out of the D.C. one, we also the next day had a even worse and more sad plane crash in Philadelphia, right?
I think both were equally as heartbreaking. It's you know, I don't want to make our people out there cry and, you know, but yeah, this one made me really, really sad once I found out who was on the airplane.
So this was a pediatric flight, emergency flight with doctors and a
mother and a child, a patient child.
Young patient. Okay. And this went down in Philadelphia. We don't have a whole lot of details as of yet.
No.
I know that the video I seen looked...
terrible.
Yeah, it looked like a missile coming in. It was not a missile. I want to be very clear. I know it was not a missile. I know it was a plane. I'm very sure of that. But the video we seen looked like a missile bombing in at the speed that it was coming in.
This was a Bombardier Learjet that they fly fast. Mm-hmm. And if they lose thrust, they fall fast.
So this is a personal jet, a personal plane, a private plane, if you will.
Yeah, it was owned by a company,
right?
You know, but still, yes, it was a smaller. It wasn't a jumbo jet, but it was a Learjet,
right.
Probably a 12-passenger Learjet. More than likely had a mobile hospital on board with probably limited seating,
right,
for family members,
right,
and then hospital staff. You know, something like that,
right. So let me ask you this, and I know we did the research earlier, so I know we know the answer to this. Does Lear use Boeing parts? Because we know there was a big thing with Boeing making faulty parts and having issues with their planes.
I don't think so. I think they're a Bombardier company.
Right.
I'm not sure they use...
I didn't find any evidence that Boeing was involved with their creation either. I did a number of searches connecting them, and I've had nothing come up.
When Boeing planes hit the ground, they don't go Boeing. They
boom.
They go boom.
So the idea that Boeing is connected in this would be no. Now the next thing, the idea that they could have been hacked just like the previous one.
We don't know. We have no idea.
I don't see a point in hacking a plane like that.
Not unless you're a sinister sumbitch.
Right. Like, I don't really see what that would accomplish to take out a child of all things.
But that airplane, where it went down, honestly, I mean, if they were on approach, there was no getting out of that. If they lost thrust on approach, there's no getting out of that. They're screwed. They are so screwed.
You think that this was... what's the word? I don't want to use pilot error. Okay, as I was explaining to you earlier, when I've seen plane crashes or things like that, it always looks like the pilot did their best to try to save the plane and not just nose down and go for it.
Like they'll have an angle of attack like they're still fighting.
Right.
Yeah. This particular kind of aircraft flies fast but falls fast. And if the nose was down, he may have been trying an angle of attack to get air underneath the wings, to get his airspeed up. And if he couldn't get his airspeed up, they're just gonna fall. There is no gliding. You know, that plane can only glide for so long.
Right.
If it doesn't have the airspeed and there's no thrust, you're not flying anymore. You're just falling. And
Gotcha.
and at some point, there's just falling.
I mean, the only thing that I could, and I'm spitballing here right off the top, so unless it had no wings left on it, something had happened in the air.
Wings don't work without thrust.
But if you're moving that fast, you could try to angle the plane at least a little bit to get some kind of against that wing structure, right?
Yes and no. If you don't have any push from behind.
I mean, isn't that literally how gliding works?
At some point, the wings stop working. And say the pilot had its flaps down already and lost thrust. They're fucked. There is no getting back from that. If you pull the flaps up after you lose thrust, you can try to, maintain your airspeed, but you're screwed. You've already lost so much airspeed, you're toast. You're falling out. You're falling.
Gotcha.
Because your flap. What do flaps do? Flaps are supposed to do two things: keep you aloft at slow speed, and prepare you to land and have the ground effect to land.
Right. The air braking.
Yeah, basically it's air braking. Basically, you're scrubbing speed. Basically, those flaps down, and you lose thrust, you're toast. You scrub all your speed like that.
Gotcha.
So basically, you're no matter you're not you're flying anymore. You're falling.
Then again, that might have been scrubbing speed, and I see what you're saying, but that sucker was moving.
No, relatively looking at it, yes, it was moving fast. For the thrust needed to keep flying, no.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So do you think, ending out this conversation about the plane issues, the falling birds, do you think that these are connected or just two separate sad incidents that happened within a short period of time?
I'm not going to fly out on a limb and say they're connected at all. I think these are two separate, very heartbreaking instances of plane crashes right now that one, it's scaring the crap out of me because in July I have to take a flight to Washington.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. You sure do.
I've got a wedding to go to in Washington.
That's right.
I'm looking at this going, stop crashing, you assholes.
I tell you what, 4 years ago, whenever I came back from Idaho cross country to Tennessee, I was concerned then that things were already breaking down. Thank God it's taken much longer to. But I was concerned back then of this happening.
I have two emotions fighting against each other when I get on an airplane. One, the psychopath in me is excited to go over 200 miles an hour.
I feel that.
Two, the scared little boy in me is going, I'm going to die. But usually once I'm in the seat and the plane is on the runway, that little boy that says 200 miles an hour, here I come, is the only one talking. So you know what? I'm okay.
There's nothing like that initial takeoff right down the runway.
Yeah, that push to the back of the seat, and you're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 200, V1, rotate, bitches.
So, before we jump off this topic, I just thought of one more thing, and you brought it up earlier. I disagree with them using these two crashes to, number one, use it politically at all.
Oh, yeah. He's been in 6 and 9 freaking days. You're always saying, it's Trump's fault. It's like, yeah, stow your TDS, guy. Stow it in the overhead bin. That shit is bullshit. You know it. Pickle Park Pete has been in charge of the transportation industry for how long now?
Right.
This is still his transportation industry, and we are starting to fire people. So until we get people fired and other people in that aren't men wearing dresses, screw you.
And, that's an interesting thing, too, is we are starting to fire people. Maybe that's why planes have suddenly started falling to prove a point.
Maybe.
I'm just saying, people will be saying it.
I mean, here comes more...
Without information, what are we left with?
You're the conspiracy theorist of both of us, so thank you.
That's why I got to have you here to straighten it out. I'm going to get you to my side one day, I swear. But now let's move to the other side of this. I agree, TDS is strong in these leftists today. But I don't agree also with Trump coming out and using this anti-DEI, because I don't see anywhere where DEI was involved in these incidents. I think he screwed up by saying that. Other than there was a woman pilot in the Black Hawk, I'm not really sure DEI was really involved in any of this. I think this is two terrible, heartbreaking accidents. I agree. I don't agree with him politicizing it. I don't like that he pulled the DEI into this.
But,
I don't think
look
it had
at what the other side's doing right now too. It's a battle of stupidity on both sides to see who can out retard each other.
I'm not going to disagree with that. And coming from a person that loves Trump and things Trump does and his policies,
I don't love Trump. I like Trump. Trump's a fallible, imperfect human being, just like the rest of us. And he does things that are stupid, but he does a lot of things that are freaking awesome.
And that's exactly what I was about to say. I don't mind pointing out when he does stupid stuff either and calling him out for the stupid.
Yeah, we're going to point out something else he's doing kind of dumb here later in the show.
Yes, we are. But one thing he is doing that's I'm not sure if it's good or bad or right in the middle, and that's fighting BRICS. Now, I don't mean that he's going up and punching red bricks, ladies and gentlemen. He's not fighting bricks like that.
Hold on. Pause button. Time out. He's not doing this. This is Vladimir Pooty-Poo. This is a quote by Pooty-Poo saying that Europe is going to bow to Trump eventually. And my question, this is my personal question, and I just posted this on X here not too long ago, is, wait a minute here. Putin talking about Europe bowing to Trump. Mm-hmm. Please explain to me BRICS again, about everybody walking away from the United States dollar. Are they going to walk away from the dollar, or is BRICS dead?
Well, if we have tariffs, that's going to do one of two things. If they're decoupling from the dollar, tariffs ain't going to mean squat.
No. Trump's tariffs are not going to mean a damn thing if Europe walks away from the United States dollar.
Nope.
Basically, it's going to be a paper tiger, and it's going to basically kill our economy even worse if we don't become so incredibly isolationist and repatriate as much industry as we possibly can to keep us afloat.
That's what we've got to do.
And that's what Trump is doing. And yeah, people telling us that being isolationist is being somehow xenophobic or evil or stupid or something. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of countries around the world that are isolationist for a reason.
Absolutely. Look at what Saudi Arabia, right? Aren't they isolationists?
Fairly, yeah.
You don't really hear a whole lot of them doing anything but within their own country.
No, they're for themselves, man.
And as we should be.
And, the whole America first thing is America frickin' first.
Right. Not America last. Not America at the end. Not Americans can suffer. America first. America should get
American
everything.
Citizens first.
Yes.
And American industry first. American sovereignty first. American freedom first.
Well, and we touched on it last week. The tariffs are going to raise prices. How do you get around that?
Did they last time? Did they raise? Did we have massive inflation last time Trump was in friggin' office? Please answer me that fucking question.
Not at all.
No. So the Communist Democrat Party comes out and the tariffs are going to raise prices. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
please shut up. Your economic model is garbage. It's been garbage for the last 2 decades. We've seen it. We don't want it. Basically, to the Democrat Party that is crying about these tariffs raising prices, sit the fuck down. We are done with you. We are done with your economic policy. We're sick of it. These tariffs, basically what he's talking about is killing the IRS and making tariffs the tax model.
Right.
You know what that's going to do to the United States citizens' dollars?
Increase it incredibly.
Buying power through the roof.
Through the roof. We're going to be up to 80 or 90% at this point of the dollar.
New motorcycle.
Does that mean we're going to end the Fed?
That'd be nice.
They can quit printing money and we can just say the hell with them? That'd be really nice. Like, for real, for real.
No. Hold on a second. Pause button again. Article 1, Section 8. Let me go back to it again. Whose job is it to coin money? The federal government.
Correct.
Not an independent agency.
Which the Fed Reserve is. It is neither federal, nor does it have any reserves.
And it is not a government agency. It is an independent agency. So, the federal government, in Article 1, Section 8 of the United States Constitution, has the authority to coin money.
You know what I also find interesting is these leftists over here that are screaming, you know, they're going to raise price, they're going to raise price. You know what they're actually saying? Can you layman speak that?
They're going to raise prices for their friends.
There you go.
And their friends are not America.
There you go. Our Chinese masters won't like that. That's what that meant. Our Chinese masters won't be happy.
Ding, 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 ding.
So, BRICS, do you think this is going to be an issue as we go forward?
For a while, yes. I think there are still certain countries that see us not surviving the next couple of decades. See us on the decline.
Right.
And honestly, we're right there in that cycle of countries that fall.
Mm-hmm. We're at our
250-year cycle of countries that fall and become...
Well, not even countries, empires.
Empires, yes. There's still Rome. There's still Great Britain. Mm-hmm. There's still Germany. There's still Russia. Empires do fall, but they do survive.
Countries survive.
Countries survive.
The empire does not. The country does.
Yes. Thank you.
Which makes sense. But what if we become the North American Union with Greenland attached?
You know, until France and Great Britain put their 2 cents in, nobody gave a shit.
Right.
Nobody cared. And then all of a sudden, France is like, we're gonna deploy troops to Greenland to defend it against America. What?
And then Britain said, yeah, we don't want no part of that. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Britain said, no, we don't want no part. Y'all go ahead, do you. What do you think about Trump's land grabbing? Wanting to grab Canada, grab Greenland, grab Mexico.
Stop it. I like me some Orange Man, but dude, you need to stop the bullshit. You look like exactly what the Democrat Party is calling you, a colonizer.
I don't disagree with that at all. I don't like the idea of making a North American Union. I don't like the idea of buying Canada. I don't like the idea of taking back the Panama Canal.
I have Canadian friends, and a lot of them are really offended by this shit.
Really?
Yeah. Some of them, I mean, at the same time, you know, I'm sharing this every once in a while. It's the same thing I'm sharing all the time. You know, how does a electorate of badass hockey players and syrup farmers elect the Princess Trudeau?
You ain't wrong. Trudeau Castro?
Yeah. How do you elect that guy? I mean, yeah, you can ask the same question. How did you guys elect Biden?
I was going to say, you're assuming that there was an election that was legit.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have one here for Biden.
Now, we can say the same thing about Canada, whether that was legit or not. But didn't Trudeau say he's pretty much done?
That's what I heard. I think he's stepping down. Not immediately.
Then it's time for him just to shut up and step down and let a real dude take over Canada and let him make that country what it could be, an ally of America and not a 51st state. Because that's...
Have you looked into their politics? Do
just
you know?
Freaking stop it. No, not that much, because you know why? It's not America.
Pierre Poilievre.
I do like that. Yeah, I do like that guy. He is the Canadian Trump.
Yes.
But I don't think that Poilievre guy is going to put up with Trump's bullshit either.
No, he won't put up with the bullshit. But he'll definitely do things that will be pro-Canada. It will be Canada first.
Canada first.
And hell yeah, I support that, just like America first. Yeah. Absolutely, I support that.
I've never had a Canadian treat me wrong. So, bless you, Canada. But America first.
What are you talking about, eh? I love the Canadians. I really do. I've known a couple of them myself. Love the Canadians. I got a buddy named Juan, lives up there in Canada. Really cool guy. Shout out to you, Juan.
He's not Canadian, though.
I mean...
His name is Juan.
He's Mexican Canadian.
But does his head flap like the Canadians? His head flap like the Canadians?
No.
When they talk?
Not quite. Not quite. What were those? Terrence and Phil. That's it.
Oh, gosh. I was going to sing that song, but I really want to put this show on YouTube. So
yeah, let's not. Let's not. Shut your... So... okay, do you think this land grabbing could, and you mentioned earlier France sending troops and whatnot, if Trump moved forward with this, which I pray to God he does not, because I'm like you, I think it's absolutely stupid.
Dude, this starts more trouble than we really freaking need right now. We need to take what we have right now and improve it and fix it and basically put us back on the right track to prosperity and stop trying to buy property that honestly is going to cost us more than it's worth.
Yes, I fully agree. I don't know what we would gain with Greenland. I don't understand.
Rare earth minerals.
Is that what it is? Rare earth minerals?
Mm-hmm.
That makes more sense now.
Greenland's weather sucks ass all year round. The people seem pretty rad. But there's 58,000 people on that island completely.
Well,
That's
hopefully some of these people...
It's mostly a barren land.
Hopefully some of these people that Trump is putting into position will be able to talk him out of this. Yeah. People like Tulsi Gabbard.
It's a volcanic island. And what I saw a few videos, there's a company on that island that rents motorcycles to be able to take an adventure around the island on motorcycle. That is one brutal island. I think the high temperature is like 58 degrees. High temperature during the summer.
Yeah, Greenland is ice and Iceland is green. Make that make sense.
It is a cold dude. And even during the summertime, it gets down super cold at night. I mean, it is just a cold dude. And I thought, man, that would be kind of awesome to do that. Until I started looking up the weather, and I was like, oh, hell no.
Oh, no, that's definitely not something I want to do then. I have seen some of their volcanoes and whatnot on like YouTube Live when they're going off, things like that. Very, very interesting place. Now, one of those, Greenland or Iceland 1, had a volcano that went off in the 1850s that was so bad that it caused a whole year without a summer. Because you've heard about that?
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
But I bet the vegetation grew like gangbusters the next year.
I bet you're right. Probably needed that reset. But hopefully these people that are coming into cabinet can talk him out of some of this stupidity, like Tulsi Gabbard if she gets confirmed.
Oh, God, man, that poor girl.
That woman has fought for this country. She's been nothing but a patriot. And the left has done everything they can to try to destroy demolish this woman. She
is a propaganda victim of the left.
Absolutely.
I mean, they've labeled her a Putin puppet. They've labeled her a terrorist. They've put her on a fly list called Quiet Skies.
A secret fly list.
Yes. Because I'm a veteran and I do this show on X, and I have been outspoken about my political views, I do not doubt that I am on that list.
I thought I would be, and I flew just last year. So, what was it, to Connecticut, I think it was. So, I know that I'm not yet on the list.
Being a veteran, I have no qualms. I have no doubt that I'm probably on that list.
Most likely.
Yeah.
This country's scared of their veterans because they've trained them to be so deadly.
They've trained them to think for themselves at the same time following orders. But a lot of the veterans have seen the man behind the green curtain.
That's true.
And they've seen more than they should have. So, yeah, they could be an intellectual threat.
And we know Kash Patel is also waiting to be confirmed. They've been trying to fight this guy left, right, and center.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions on the side of, is he too loyal to Trump, one,
right,
or two, is he loyal to a foreign power like India, being an Indian...
Right, and I guess
kind of like Ramaswamy.
Right,
They're
and I guess that's legit.
Whether he's, loyal to India.
But then again, he has been proven to be nothing but loyal to this country
Dude's
over the last...
badass, man.
Hell yeah, he is. So we know that Patel's been being fought against. Now, being loyal to your president, wasn't the FBI directors and all of these intelligence agencies and all that quite loyal to their president as far as you've ever remembered?
Not Trump.
I mean, except for Trump. They turned on Trump. But Biden, wasn't the FBI very loyal to Biden?
No, they were very loyal to Biden's handlers.
Oh, that's fair. To that administration. Let's go with that administration.
to Biden's babysitters.
Right. Like, I want my FBI and my intelligence agencies to be loyal to me. Like, that's kind of the way it's supposed to work. Yeah. Right? Otherwise, I can't trust the intel I'm getting.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where you look at this and go, wait a minute. They should be loyal.
Right. So what are they asking? Are they trying to make sure he don't have somebody that will give him the correct intel? Like, it really makes you wonder what the deep state's up to at this point.
Yeah, that's why they're trying to fire. Basically, the intelligence agencies know that if Tulsi and Kash get in, they're screwed. Because they're and one question brought up to Kash, he actually said this. I remember him saying it. And it was a question brought up to him in his confirmation, and he didn't freaking answer it. I was like, just answer the question properly. You said it. Just that the FBI building needs to be shut down and turned into a museum.
Yes, he did say it. Yes, he did.
He freaking said that shit.
Absolutely, he said it.
You said it, dude.
Right. And stand on it.
Yeah, but instead...
Absolutely stand on it.
Instead, Kash Patel walked in answered in circles. I was like, dude, just answer the freaking question. You said it. Say it. That's what the American people want you to say.
Right.
That's what we're supporting.
Absolutely. To back out on that was a little disturbing.
Yeah, that was kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, dude. Why are you talking in circles with this guy? I think him answering that properly and just saying, yeah, I said it, what about it?
Would have been a lot better.
Hammer to the dude's face, like, there you go, commie.
Exactly.
What you got to say next?
I agree. I agree.
Instead of answering in circles and giving the guy more weaponry against you.
Then again, would it have given the news media weaponry if he would have agreed to it?
No. What do they got to say? He said it. What are they going to say now?
Kash Patel's going to shut down the FBI. He's a threat. He's a threat.
Isn't that what the hell we're talking about anyway?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Isn't that what we want?
Yeah.
They're criminals. Treat them like criminals.
Absolutely. I agree. At least clean it out. If not, shut it down. Because as you point out, we need an intelligence agency.
We do need an intelligence agency. I think the FBI should be that intelligence agency. But I think we need to take the ATF and crush that bitch.
Agreed.
Take the CIA, crush that bitch, and basically take all the honorable dudes from each one of those agencies and smash them into the FBI.
CIA, NSA, all those. Absolutely. Take all the alphabets down into one.
Down into one. We now have one instead of 4 redundant assholes that are now working independently to destroy the country.
And are not sharing information with each other, most likely.
No. Why would they? They're all power-drunk idiots.
You ain't wrong. So we do know that Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard are up for confirmation, and they're yet to be in. However, speaking of being in, the military's got a lot more people going back in.
Oh, yeah. This was wonderful. The personnel that refused to take the hokey pokey.
Right, the experiment.
Yeah,
let's just stay with the experiment.
Yeah,
refused to be part of the experiment.
Are now being reinstated with back pay. I'm not sure if time and rank is going to matter. I think they're all going to go in as their rank that they left.
They are,
but so they're not going to get time and rank, but back pay, which is going to be rad because they deserve it.
That's huge. That's years of back pay for some of them.
Thousands of dollars in back pay, and not only that, probably thousands of dollars in BAH, which is even more sexy.
Heck yes. Housing, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are going to be living nicely.
Yeah. Some of them with the money that they could get could buy a home.
Oh, undoubted. Flat out buy a home. Without question. Even at today's stupid prices.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, definitely a huge win reinstating those that refuse to be part of the experiment. I absolutely think this is amazing and should have been done much earlier. Now, what I want to see from a personal standpoint, and you'll understand why, is we need to take and open up. When you get dismissed from a job, you've got something like 7 weeks to do something about it. That's it. No more statute of limitation. That's it. So I want them to open up that statute of limitations a little while for everybody that got screwed out of their job.
Oh, yeah.
So they can turn around and sue these employers that screwed them illegally, and you'll actually get some retribution. I've got one on my list I would love to go back and get because they owe me big time for what they did to me. So I think that would be a good thing if Trump would go as far as doing that for the American people. I think that would be a huge win for the American people.
Yeah, I could say that just recently I got royally screwed, but I'm gonna digress there. That will come out in a later show,
right?
When I can divulge that information, because some of the assholes that are involved in that may watch this show. They know it exists,
right?
So
we're coming up on a time limit here. Do you want to keep going with the rest of the stories, or do you want to?
I think we're going to skip a story.
Okay.
I think the international panhandler can be put on the back burner.
Gotcha.
And we can go to the final story because I think it's a very serious story.
Okay, so we know for the last 4 years, longer than that, but definitely the last 4 years, it's been making headlines that the cartels have been rolling in the dough and really having a booming business for the last couple of years thanks to the Biden administration.
Oh yeah. They're the open border policies have basically given them carte blanche to be able to operate in America just unimpeded.
And now Trump has said, no, we're not going to put up with this anymore, and has actually deemed the cartels as terrorist organizations.
Yep.
So the cartels have responded, ladies and gentlemen, and the cartels responded with a green light to open fire on U.S. law enforcement. I don't
Do you realize
laugh.
what's already at the border right now? We have M1 Abrams tanks at our border right now. We have Bradley fighting vehicles at our border right now. We have the 82nd Airborne at our border right now. We have what is it? We do have some of the Tennessee National Guard, the not the 230th Sustainment Brigade, but the 278th.
Do we really?
Combat Division is down there.
I didn't know that.
We do have some of my personal loved ones in harm's way in our border right now. All you guys, I love you so much. But we have a bunch of badass shit kickers down there at our border.
I don't know what the cartels are thinking.
Bring it, bitches.
They don't have any idea what they are asking for.
Open up wide, take 155 down throat. Congratulations. Remember what I was talking about in a past episode about FLIR? That is sitting at our border right now, mounted on tanks. Have a nice fucking day.
They kill one. They kill one soldier. That's all it's going to take.
Game over.
They ain't even got to kill him. Just shoot at him. That's all it's going to take.
Remember that video game? Domination.
Would you agree that the special forces could wipe out every cartel in Mexico in one night?
No.
If they really wanted to.
No, I don't think you understand how the cartel works.
I don't think you understand the power of the U.S. military.
Our special forces are a bunch of door-kicking, meat-eating badasses. But it's spread out as the cartels are, and how gnarly that landscape down in Mexico is, and how embedded they are.
Right.
Because they're part of the government down there.
Oh, they are the government down there.
I don't think our special forces are the tool that we should be using.
What tool do you think we should use? The JDAMs? Just bomb the whole thing?
Honestly, you know what we need to do is we need to find the home of like the
one of the leaders,
the big dog daddy of like the Sinaloa cartel,
or Tren de Agua or something.
And well, no, that's down in
oh, okay, gotcha. That's right. That's Argentina, isn't it?
No, that's down in that other, Venezuela.
Venezuela.
No, they need to find the house of one of those guys and do the same thing Trump did to the freaking...
Yes!
Just mail them a picture of their house from satellite and go, do you really want to mess around? I mean, really? I mean, we have ways to touch you from 35,000 feet. Do you really want to do this? I mean, come on.
Then again, we also know where a lot of the tunnels are leading in and out. Mm-hmm. If we put our forces in there...
there's these little green boxes that say forward towards enemy.
Right.
And we just need to plug those down in those little holes.
And hit the button.
And then just hit the arm button and walk away. And then just, when the cartel goes through the tunnels, the things just and collapse the bitch. Bye.
I mean, you're not wrong. That would definitely work.
That would send a message.
So, do you think, in all seriousness, do you think there could be a cartel war?
Yes, I think there already is. They're
They're
already been opening fire for the last, quite a while now. They've already been shooting at our people. During the Biden administration, they were shooting at our people.
Well, yeah, the Biden administration.
Just kind of like, they were showing their guts because they could.
Right.
They still think they can.
They don't know what they're doing.
This is a big FAFO situation. The cartels are armed. They do have aircraft. They do have a fighting force that is very formidable. But they're not the U.S. Army or the U.S. Marines. They are not the Marines. Basically, the Marines would go in there, kill all the dudes, and marry all the chicks. That's what the frickin' Marines would do.
Hey, Mexican chicks are hot.
Until they turn about 35 and they look like
they just fall apart.
They're drug down a gravel driveway face down.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all we have time for this week.
Yeah, man.
I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf.
And I am CD Spivey.
And this has been another episode of Censored Freedom.
Bless y'all. Take care. Follow us wherever we are.
See you guys next week.